Welcome to Aggressor Adventures. Meet Vice President of Reservations, Marketing and Advertising, Ann Hasson.
So I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and it was a very small community back then. We went to church on Sunday. Summers were spent at the pool, at the lake. It was very family-oriented. And throughout my upbringing there, I really loved that we were always with family, cousins, and my parents, and we were all interacting. And I went to public school, and the same people that I grew up with, I still see today when I go back home. I really love that. And then I would say we spent a lot of time in the country. You know, growing up in the woods was really important because I was able to really learn as a photographer how to photograph wildlife. And I became really passionate about that from probably 7th grade. So I seemed to always have a camera in my hand, and I still do today, and I really loved that.
Ann reflects on her early childhood and life with her siblings.
My parents were wonderful. We had a really great upbringing, and they loved to take us traveling all over the United States, the Caribbean. We really visited a lot of wonderful places. Yes, I have 2 sisters and 1 brother, and we're all still very close.
Her parents had a profound influence on her.
I would say my parents really were such a huge influence on me as a child. They really promoted education, they promoted travel, they promoted really getting out, meeting interesting people from all over the world, and that was really important to me.
Ann grew up with plenty of pets.
We had a lot of pets. I lived on 6 acres, and we had horses and dogs and cats, and it was just always a little bit crazy in our household.
She fondly remembers her early education.
So I went to kindergarten at Pony Acres, and then went on to public school and ended up going to Tuscaloosa High School. And it was just a wonderful education growing up in Tuscaloosa.
Ann loved being in and around the water at an early age.
For fun, we went skiing on Lake Tuscaloosa. We always were at the swimming pool. I grew up on a swim team, and that was really what I loved more than anything, is to be in the water. I think growing up in Tuscaloosa in a small town and being around the water so much, I really not only love the water, but I love to travel because my parents really showed us what the bigger world was all about, which really led me to where I am today.
She shares her childhood dreams.
My childhood dreams were to travel and see the world. It's really all I ever wanted to do was to leave Tuscaloosa as I got older, just to go see the world.
Ann recalls her college days.
When I was at the University of Alabama, I was majoring in early childhood education, and I really remember working with the kids, and I was really passionate about special needs kids. And even growing up, I spent a lot of time, we had a couple of facilities at the University of Alabama. One of them was called Partlow for special needs kids. And I really loved spending the time, and that's what I probably did most of my community service doing.
She is extremely proud of her kids.
So my daughter Caroline is a wonderful child. She's very outgoing, vivacious. She loves travel. She is living in Washington, D.C., and we visit often. And my son Davis is an avid scuba diver and boater and loves to spend time around the water. They're both avid scuba divers, and that's what we love to spend our time doing.
And shares some of her fun and relaxation pursuits.
Well, I'm an avid photographer, so I love to photograph the wildlife in Southwest Florida. I love to grow bananas. I years ago met a banana farmer whose grandfather raised bananas in Homestead, Florida. And so I really became interested, and I now grow all kinds of varieties. And at present, I think I have 4 stalks, and each has about 8 to 10 hands of bananas on them. So that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about.
She clearly remembers her first saltwater dive.
So when I was 14, I took a resort course in the Cayman Islands at the Holiday Inn, and I absolutely fell in love with scuba diving. I mean, we spent the week there, and as a child, I can remember going underwater and just totally mesmerized by all the fish life, the coral, and that's when I knew I really wanted to become a real scuba diver.
Anne's first coral reef exploration left a lasting impression on her.
The first time I explored a coral reef, I was mesmerized. I could not believe the fish life. The coral was so vibrant. It just was another world, and one that I knew I always wanted to explore more of.
Anne shares how her previous life experiences led to her position at Aggressor Adventures.
So I would say that my background, I always loved people. I loved travel. I loved working with the people of all nationalities. I just really loved people, and so it was really easy to work into the role that I currently have now.
She now lives very close to the water.
I live in Naples, Florida, and really love it there. So Naples is a really wonderful place. I mean, we have the Everglades, which is close by. We have a lot of swampland, so you get amazing bird life. I live about a mile from the beach, so I love the beach. There's just a lot to do in the state of Florida, but mainly in my area, it's just probably the wildlife that keeps me there and draws me into it.
Aggressor Adventures, for your adventure of a lifetime.